State will pay off all past due rent that accumulated in California due to the pandemic. The state says it has $5.2 billion to pay off people's rent. News 8's Allison Royal joins us live to explain how this will all work. And I guess the big question for many people is, where is this money coming from, Allison?
Well, good morning, Carrie. So that money is actually going to come from federal stimulus money, a surplus that is left over. And we are talking about $5.2 billion. That is a big chunk of change. And that could be news for some people here in Encinitas in the Seacrest area. There are a lot of different apartment buildings in this area, and certainly there are people across the state of California who are behind on rent. That $5.2 billion should be more than enough to cover unpaid rent statewide. So if you're behind on rent, California could be footing the bill with that federal stimulus surplus money. And a lot of landlords and people who pay their rent consistently on time actually argue that these rent protections are not fair because these were meant for an emergency and not to be so permanent. However, some Californians said they are stuck in poverty due to the pandemic and need more time to get back on their feet. On a county level, San Diego County has its own COVID-19 emergency rent and utilities assistance program. There are plenty of other counties in California that have their own as well. San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria said the goal is to not have anybody slip into homelessness, which, as we know, is a huge problem in our county.
The pandemic has affected all of our lives. It's also affected our unsheltered population, where for over a year, we have not been able to have our shelters fully open because of social distancing requirements. And many of our providers who run those shelters have been impacted by the same workforce issues that we've seen impact restaurants and retailers and elsewhere.
And right now, California has a ban on evictions for unpaid past due rent until June 30th. But Governor Gavin Newsom said he is definitely in support of having that extend past June 30th.